The universe was not created in 7 days. It's a little over 13.5 billion years old. And the first chapter of Genesis doesn't disagree. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm a deep skeptic, also a pastor. You heard that right. The part of the Bible where it talks about God creating this and that on the first, second, third, whatever day does not disagree or push back against this 13.5 billion year old age of the universe. And though there are many reasons why this is correct, I'll just give you three. Number one, it's poetry. Or maybe if you have a very specific view of poetry and rhyme schemes and that kind of stuff, you might call it highly symbolic and elevated prose. A lot of theologians will call it a theological poetry, but basically this is that highly image and metaphor driven kind of thing. And if you could read it in its original language, you would grasp that immediately. And it's so much so that some translations of the Bible will actually do a hanging indent to help you see visually that this is not like a historical text. This is something elevated. This has imagery. And just like you wouldn't take a poem about the beginning of everything and use it to inform your scientific view, you shouldn't do that with that first chapter of Genesis. So that's reason number one. Reason number two has to do with the content itself. So once you're kind of in this realm of saying, okay, this is not like a historical text, let's talk about the imagery. One of the interesting ways the imagery works out is actually one of the things that is very scientifically unreliable. So on day one, God creates light and dark. And then on day 4, God creates the sun and the moon. You can't have light on Earth without the sun. And so that part just doesn't make any sense. What's going on there? Well, there's one really simple way to understand. One of the interpretive schemes that scholars use to explain this is that what it seems is that the person that is writing this first chapter of the Bible, the sort of epic beginning of the Bible, shows God setting up domains and then the rulers of those domains. So you begin with the sky, light and dark. Then you have the sky and the seas, and then you have the land, and those three domains correspond to the sun and moon, the birds of the air, the land animals, and the vegetation. Right? You have these domains, and then it's paralleled. So day 1, and then day 3, day 2, and then day 4, day 3, and then day 5. It's pretty cool. But again, this is symbolism. It's metaphor. And to take it literally and to try to make it into science just ruins everything, which is point number 3. Point number 3 is this is a religious text. It is an ancient spiritual text, and religious texts are trying to answer a different question than scientific texts. And so if you go to religion to find scientific information, you're going to get really bad information. And if you go to science to find religious information, you are also going to get bad information. So when you are approaching something that is religious or spiritual in nature, you are not looking for scientific answers. You are looking for the kind of answers that people find and seek in religion, which are fundamentally different. The Bible isn't science, and you don't actually need to use science to try to validate what's happening in the Bible. You don't need to look for random exceptions in things like the fossil record to try and prove that the Bible, its scientific view is scientifically valid, because it's not science. So if that's something that's bothered you, you can let go of it. It's not what it's talking about. And read that first chapter of Genesis symbolically, and you'll find some really cool answers and some really cool questions to process about your own life.